2-5 game in my local casino. 800 cap buy-in.
Is this in Canada?
Michigan.
Okay.
Motor City, Detroit.
Okay. 800
So,
cap buy-in. Okay.
the button is straddling this hand, so $10 straddle. I have black queens in the low jack.
Okay.
Anyway, big blind calls a 10. Middle position makes it 55. Most of the guys at the table I play with 3 to 4 days a week, so I have a pretty good feel of him. This guy is like super tight, old man coffee.
Okay.
So I look down at my queens. Most of the time I'm 3-betting this spot. I figure I'm calling. I want to see a flop in position.
So where are you on the button?
Low jack.
Wow, and you don't want to 3-bet here? How deep are you guys, by the way?
He's got about 950, 975. I've got him covered. I'm at about 1500.
So you're 970 effective. I mean, this is just a slam dunk 3-bet for me all day long, especially with that button straddle that might feel like he's, going to get priced in. I mean, queens is you said you have black queens, right?
Yeah, black queens. And like I said, 90, 95% of the time I'm 3-betting. This guy, I mean, I hate to say
are you scared of being 4-bet, or are you scared of playing in position?
If this guy 4-bets me, I have to fold. In my head. He's only 4-betting me with aces and kings.
Well, that's actually easy to play with, though, right? I mean, that's actually let's just say that's true. Okay? So let's just say he only 4-bets with aces and kings, but he is going to call with worse. We don't think about raise folding, especially at the mid to small stakes for value, is super bread and butter, just like bet folding is. You can raise fold for value pre-flop, too. If I tell you a guy is only 4-betting with aces and kings, and I have queens, but if I 3-bet him, he's going to call with all the way down to eights, ace king, ace queen, suited broadways. Why can't I just 3-bet fold pre-flop?
The idea of folding queens makes me sick.
Well, I mean, listen, it's an extreme example. If you really only, I'm just saying that it's if that really were the case. Now, maybe that's not true, but I
believe that's the case, and I believe this is step one of where I butchered it. So I call.
Okay.
Big blind calls as well.
So 3 ways.
3 of us to the flop.
By the way, I'm not a huge fan. I got this question from somebody, I think, on CLP Discord. Not a huge fan of the button straddle. I think it tends to kill no limit games a little bit because it sort of it's a huge advantage for the button, whether it's positive EV for the button or not, but it kind of forces the blinds to play super tight. And then you get into these situations where if most people are doing it, now you're at a disadvantage if you're not doing it. I'm just not a huge fan of the button straddle. But okay, so 165.
177. Actually.
Okay, with the blinds. Okay, yep.
So we see a flop and another error on me. Queen 10-9 rainbow. So top set.
Okay.
Checks to the mid position guy who bets 100. I call. Not scared of king jack. Not scared of jack 8. I just feel I'm going to raise every turn. Button calls.
Wait a minute. The button's in there? I thought
not
those
the
big blind.
Big blind.
Big blind calls. All right. So there's just a couple things about this. So. Now, I'm not saying that the call in itself is not bad, but just the logic when you said, I'm going to raise every turn, I think raising the turn looks stronger than raising the flop. Now, with that being said, you block a lot of the top pairs. I don't know what kind of player MP1 is. This is another bread and butter play sometimes too, where, in a game like this where people play straightforward, like I might bet fold aces here if somebody raises the flop. If I know that they're only racing with 2-pair plus, so I can see the reasoning for calling, but I'm not going to just say, I'm just going to blindly raise the turn, because I think that that's stronger than raising the flop in a given situation. But you get the big blind to overcall, so now the pot's 477. Okay.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
So the turn comes pretty much a horrible card. Jack of spades, which puts 2 spades on board.
Wow. Okay, so Jack
obviously
of spades.
A 4-liner.
Yep, backdoor spade draw. So Queen 10-9 rainbow turn is the Jack of spades. So obviously a 1-liner to a king out there. Gonna be thinking about ace king as well, which is the nut straight here too. Yeah.
So big blind checks. Mid position bets 100. At this point, I think I have nothing to do but call.
So MP makes the same bet.
Same bet.
By the way, 2 people in the chat saying I would probably raise the flop more often. I think I would like to raise with 10s and 9s more often than queen too. I mean, I love to fast play in these games anyways. I'm just making a point. But so now MP1 bets the same here on a 1-liner here to a king. I mean, I think at this point It's probably just a call. You get another guy in there too, right?
Right.
And then, I mean, because what ends up happening too, not that we would raise here on a one-liner, is that the other guy, if the other guy has a king, he very well might just call, scared that MP1 has ace king. Whereas if you raise now, he might think he's committed and you get jammed on. It's a nightmare.
Right. So I call, pretty much thinking your logic. Big blind folds.
All right. So big blind folds. So your head's up now, and now the pot is 677.
Correct.
Okay.
As I'm calling, I verify how much mid position has left. He has about 700.
Okay. So about a pot size bet left.
Turn is the 2 of spades.
River's the 2 of spades.
Yep. So the backdoor flush gets there.
All right,
Obviously,
so-
ace king, any king.
Do you remember the distribution of the flop cards by chance? Just because that is important when doing backdoor hand rating.
I'm pretty sure it was the 10 of spades.
Okay. So the
we-
possibility of queen X of spades is out there as well.
Well,
as,
I have the queen of.
Oh,
I have
I'm
the
sorry.
queen
You have
of
the
spades in my
queen of
hand.
spades. Right. Okay. So he can't have queen X of spades. Okay.
No, he can. I don't see him having king jack. He can certainly have ace 10, ace king, obviously.
Why don't you see him having king jack? Now he was the preflop raiser because he
He's
just wouldn't bet the nuts.
He just
you mean?
wouldn't. This guy just would not raise with that.
His
Pre-flop, I'm saying.
because his pre-flop raise is so tight. Okay.
Right.
So you think that he's like really raising like aces, kings, ace king, maybe tens, maybe?
He could have raised any pair. I mean,
Okay.
aces, maybe not deuces through eights, but he's raising nines plus. I just don't see him continuing with those hands on this board.
Right, unless he flopped a set, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So backdoor spades come in now too. Pot 677. Okay.
He pretty instantly bets 300. So roughly half the stack.
God. I mean, so MP1 bets 300. I mean, from your characterization of this guy, I don't. I mean, this just seems like kind of a fold to me all day. I mean, some people saying too on the turn, the same bet is weakness. That's a CLP live hack as well. Although that bet can be ace king though too, which is like the stone cold nuts on the turn. When MP1 goes, if he were to see bet the flop, I mean it's possible, right? With ace king, I don't know what you beat here. What do you beat here, David? What do you think?
Oh no, in my head I'm beating nothing. And to be honest, I didn't take long enough in my head, but I basically instant fold and I'd show it face up.
Now wait a minute. The only thing that I will say here though, but I do never expect this at this level is, I mean, I have seen some higher level players. Now you have the queen of spades, so it can't be like ace queen with the ace of spade. Now you lose to ace king, obviously, because that's a straight. I mean, would it ever be like aces with the ace of spades turned into a bluff? I very rarely would see that at this level, and it's just for this type of sizing is just kind of weird. I think that I comfortably fold here, man, and just live to see another day. But I mean, I think I would take away from this is I would definitely 3-bet pre though, for sure. What did you end up doing?
So like I said, I basically insta fold and I show my set.
Okay.
And he shows me exactly what you said, black aces. And
Are you serious? He's got aces with the ace of spades?
correct.
Oh my God. What does he think he's doing? Do you know?
I haven't talked to him about it after. He just asked me if I'm upset. I'm like, no, man, I'm not upset. I mean, obviously he made a great play.
So he thinks he's bluffing then?
Yeah, he thought he was bluffing.
I mean, let me ask you this question. So what would you do if you flatted him with king queen suited here? Let's say, because you flatted him with queen queen, right? So what would you do if you had king queen suited here?
I mean, if I have a king, I'm not folding the river for 300.
Okay.
There's just no way. I mean, he's got to show me ace king at that.
I mean, it's just like, if you're never folding king, so he's just getting you off of like a set of queens that usually 3-bets pre, or two pair, I guess. Jack, queen, jack.
Maybe some kind of straight.
If you had queen jack suited, and this guy makes the same bet on queen jack, again, the flop is queen 10-9, turn is a jack, pot's 477, but you've got another guy in the hand and he bets 100. So you're getting like 5 or 6 to 1, but you've got that other guy in the hand. I think you might have to be forced to fold out queen jack 2 on the turn with another guy in the hand.
Yeah, I mean, I think on the turn, the only reason I'm calling is because obviously I can fill up.
No, of course. I'm just saying, I'm just going through some other hands that you might have here that could, I mean, do you call the flop with jack 10 suited? That's a snap fold, I think, on the turn. So when you get to the river, I'm just saying, I'm kind of going over these hands, which are 2 pair that he's trying to bluff you off of, because I don't know if you get to the river with these hands.
I don't think so. No, you're right. Not against this guy. And
So it's just like, wow. Hey,
so I mean, obviously I misplayed it pre, and you're saying I misplayed on the flop as well, which is what I'm
I'm
looking for
not going to get
confirmation
on you
of.
as much as the chat people. I think I would tend to raise, I tend to raise larger hands, but I would do more raising with middle and bottom set here. I don't hate your call. But the other thing too you got to recognize is that there's another type of player. So if MP1 is as tight as you're talking about, like where he's only, he's just super tight, usually that falls into like an old man coffee type of thing. The thing about old man coffee types are that they don't like to fold post, meaning that like if he has aces or kings, he's never folding. So when you flop better than one pair, it's really, I think, the best approach to fast play these guys, because now they have less of an excuse to fold later on. Because like it's a disaster if you call here on queen 10-9 with queen queen and he has aces, and now the turn's a jack when you would have got all his money.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, exactly.
So that's kind of my take there.
And
But
I mean, not that it matters much, but I did ask him. I'm like, so I 3-bet you pre. What happens? And he's like, I just jam on you. At that point, I lose my 150, 175, whatever.
I mean, again, going back to preflop, if he truly only had a 4-betting range of aces and kings, but would call with worse, then I think you can absolutely make a case here.
So I should have been 3-betting
for raise folding. For raise folding, some people saying if there was a bluff candidate, this is the one to do it. Yeah, I mean, sure. I just, again, going back to the hand that I had with Mike Neo with the ace jack, I just do wonder sometimes if that's what's actually going through these guys' heads. But thank you very much for the call, Dave. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Appreciate the input.